Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Gorilla Press.
Right.
I'm Luca Jackson. I'm joined, of course, by Champagne Charlie, and I'm joined by sporting a lovely Danny Black long sleeve tie-dye. We'll leave a link to his Instagram.
Rep that merch.
DKW alumni Danny Black. I've got Jazzy Josh Paula here with me. So we've got a few little news bits to get on with, and we begin, of course, with the news coming out of Monday Night Raw just under 24 hours ago. That Survivor Series is taking place, and it is back to the brand warfare. And they are this year deciding to leave NXT off the card, so it is all Team Raw versus Team SmackDown. So what's been confirmed essentially is 6 matches, and they are the men's and women's 5-on-5 matches that happen every single year, and then the US champion versus the Intercontinental champion, the 2 women's champions fighting, and the 2 sets of tag champions fighting. And what would appear to be probably the main event would be the match between the WWE champion Randy Orton and the Universal champion on SmackDown Roman Reigns. So
I would have rather McIntyre and Roman Reigns, to be fair.
Yeah. I think that's probably a match they're going to save, I guess. It seems that obviously nothing's. I don't think they're going to do a title change on Raw. But yeah, I mean, I thought obviously we are going to discuss Survivor Series in more details as time goes on. But I just thought, what are your thoughts about more specifically about NXT being left off? I mean, there may be some reasons with the current situation.
There's a rumor going around. The rumor is Vince McMahon is unhappy with the ratings of NXT due to the competition with AEW. That's that's a rumor I heard today. Going through the dirt sheets and the news. News and rumors of wrestling, because rumors and wrestling go together like ham and cheese. They really
do.
And so
it gives us our show, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the rumors that I've heard about it. Or it could be just a case of the old classic Vince McMahon shitting on the little guy.
I don't think it's got anything to do with Vince McMahon. I think it's just because last year's Survivor Series, although it was a good show, I don't think it was fantastic. It
was overcomplicated, I think.
Exactly. It took away from that kind of Survivor Series feel, because obviously it's 5-on-5 Survivor Series matches, but having that weird triple threat in every match kind of...
I got very confused at last year's Survivor Series.
It took away the tradition, which is why I personally think that's probably why they left NXT out this year.
I think so too.
That whole SmackDown versus Raw dynamic, over the years of SmackDown, they did that mostly during the Ruthless Aggression era, and a little bit in the last few years as well. But it's that battle between those two brands that spawned so many successful games during that time.
Exactly, the early early to mid/late 2000s. Survivor Series really kind of helped hype up SmackDown versus Raw, because it was right about the same time of the year that the game came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you can't have SmackDown versus Raw versus NXT, because they had there was one game, SmackDown versus Raw, featuring ECW.
Yeah, but it was
which I think
at the bottom. So
yeah, if they really wanted to, they could do that with NXT.
Yeah.
Potentially. I think last year, though, the timing of it was because obviously NXT just started on USA Network. And so they wanted to kind of show that NXT was a big deal, particularly compared to AEW. And they want to show that obviously NXT is better, because obviously the position of AEW is that it's better than NXT and wanting to compete with obviously Monday Night Raw. And obviously it hasn't reached those limits yet, those heights yet, but it may do eventually. Obviously, if NXT then comes in and beats Monday Night Raw, then the message you're sending is NXT is better than AEW.
Fucking duh.
Yeah. One of the things that's been thrown around as well is because this year has been about the Undertaker's retirement. His 30 years in the business. Survivor Series is the official 30-year point from when the Undertaker first appeared. Yeah. So the question is, will the Undertaker show up as an appearance?
They have confirmed that he is obviously Undead Man Mum, and they're doing 30 Days of the Dead Man, and there's lots going on. He has been booked to appear on the show, but not to wrestle. So
no, of course, I know he's not going to wrestle, but so he's been booked to appear then. So yeah.
Yeah, but interestingly, WWE recently have quietly changed his retirement status. He's not retired, as far as WWE are concerned. He's not.
I reckon what's going to happen is that's going to be when he retires for WWE.
Potentially,
that's my theory.
Yeah,
it will make sense if they've taken him off of
that kind of thing. So.
Yeah, I reckon if they've taken him off of retirement, then having him appear at Survivor Series on the 30-day dot exactly, it would only make sense that that's because that's when they're going to make him retire. Well, not make him, but have him retire officially.
Yeah, I think that's.
I've got to agree. I've got to agree with Jazzy Josh there on that one. I think it kind of makes it more symbolic.
Yeah,
it rounds it off.
Yeah, I mean, look, we'll see how this develops in the coming weeks. So that's a good thing about Survivor Series, obviously, as we build up to it. Someone who seems to be very positive about their position in the company at the moment is Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy obviously recently did re-sign his contract with the WWE over the summer, and he is contracted to appear and up until 2024, actually. But during a recent interview, he made it clear that his plans aren't just to become the Intercontinental Champion or to feud with Elias. His plans are that he wants to win both World Championships and to main event WrestleMania before this contract expires. He admits, this is his last chance to get it right. Since my early 20s, it's been a roller coaster ride with addiction and alcoholism. I've had sober runs, doing good for a while, then I'd always go back. Now I hope I'm done with that. As long as I stay on the straight and narrow, the sky is the limit. I think this is a very positive kind of story coming out, and hoping that
Jeff Hardy has been and done it all, and his entire career has been a roller coaster. As you said, he's been in and out of rehab, multiple DUIs, but it doesn't stop the fact that Jeff Hardy is one of the most charismatic performers ever in the history of wrestling. He was one of the men who revolutionized, the ladder match and the TLC matches.
Yeah. He helped debut the TLC match.
Exactly. And basically changed the way at the time how we look at pro wrestling today. He was kind of the measuring stick of all those high-flying guys who would precede him afterwards.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've said this many a time. Like, you'll be hard pressed to find another person, another era that was as over and so universally loved as Jeff Hardy was in about 2007, 2008. WWE, he was literally worshipped, and he's gone on to become, like I said, a real enigma in wrestling, where you never know where he's going to end up. You never know what he's going to do next, and I think that's the beauty of it.
You've both just said two words that have literally been his entire gimmick.
Charismatic and enigma.
The charismatic enigma.
But yeah, well, I mean, what do you think, Josh? I mean, do we see him becoming a world champion again in the WWE?
I think if Randy Orton can do it,
then Jeff Hardy can do it. Yeah.
Then why can't Jeff Hardy? Because Randy Orton is very much one of those guys where he's neutral with the fans.
Yeah.
The fans can never want him out, but they'll never kind of beg for him to stay, if that makes sense. Like, they're happy with Randy Orton wherever he is. And I think that is very much the same with Jeff Hardy. Because Jeff Hardy, as you said, has been idolized for years. He's the founding father of an entire stipulation / pay-per-view.
Exactly.
So the idea of him not being capable of holding another world title run, even if it's for a month, I think would be absurd.
I think he can get it one more time. At least one more time.
I think the best thing for Jeff Hardy, he came back to WWE at WrestleMania and won Tag Team Gold. Why not go out and retire at WrestleMania and drop a world title to a younger talent?
Yeah, but that would leave him winning it within the span of the next few months.
No, because how long's his new contract?
I believe it's till 2024. So it's
so he's got a lot of time.
Yeah, right.
He's got plenty of time to build up to that.
Yeah, I think, look, we're all in agreement.
How fitting would it be if he won it in a ladder match or a TLC match, something like that?
That would make sense, wouldn't it?
How fitting would that be?
Well, how fitting would it be for him to lose it in a TLC match at WrestleMania?
Point taken, yeah.
Yeah, but there's lots I could. I mean, an interesting one I'm just thinking of in my head at the moment is obviously the tentative plan for WrestleMania main event next year is that it'll be Edge coming back to face Randy Orton. What
Oh,
if
yeah.
after Edge beats Randy Orton, which I believe will be for the WWE Championship, Jeff Hardy's next in line? Because you go straight into a rivalry which fans can get behind. They've obviously we're in a situation where fans
A rivalry that has been done before.
Yeah, but in this new era of obviously Edge's
I mean that in
comeback,
like a positive way.
yeah,
Like,
of course. Yeah, but in this new era now of obviously Edge's comeback and Jeff's comeback too, I guess, from his personal demons.
I suppose really all three of them, Randy Orton, Edge, and Jeff Hardy, have all had a resurgence in wrestling.
Yeah.
Obviously, Randy Orton now winning the world title.
Well, I mean, I'd argue Orton's been a constant though, isn't he? He's kind of always been in the company.
Yeah, but he's not always been in the title picture. He's been in rivalries, but not always in the title picture. But now he's kind of had this resurgence where he's back in the title picture.
No, he's He's had a great run this year with.
And they rejuvenated that legend killer status. So
yeah.
Even though there's no legends to kill.
Well, not yet. It's not WrestleMania season yet, but we're getting there. It's getting close. You know, close and closer. And just a little one as well, like we're on the Amway Center deal, so the Thunderdome. Apparently, the latest date they can have it till is mid-December because that's when the NBA will be going back in. The first NBA game is scheduled to take place in December. So we are getting close to perhaps the Thunderdome having to relocate, or are they going to go ahead with, full-scale events again? Because, Florida have allowed it. But yeah, well, that's a tiny little bit coming out from that. But Josh, you got some stuff about some injuries and
always fun when we have to go through injuries. So for those of you that watch Bound for Glory, you'd know that there was the Call Your Shot Battle Royal. Now, this is one of the biggest battle royals in Bound for Glory history, not because it's a big battle royal, but because it had so many returns and so many debuts. One person who was riding on this battle royal was Heath Slater, or Heath Miller as he's now known in Impact Wrestling. Himself and Rhino were to enter the Call Your Shot Battle Royal, and if either of them won, Heath Slater would be given a permanent contract in Impact Wrestling. Yeah, I know, recycled rivalry and all that. But Slater suffered an injury. At some point during the match, you can see him kind of like towards the ropes, holding on to his midsection, and he's then thrown out, but he was meant to win.
Oh.
He was scheduled to win. So what happens is he goes to a local medical facility, not hospital, and it turns out he's got some form of abdomen injury. They're thinking like a abdominal tear or rupture or something. And that's going to suck. But what ended up happening is Rhino ended up winning, which meant Heath Slater got his contract in the end.
Well, he's got kids.
Minor adjustments. Yeah, he's got kids.
He's got kids.
But it ended in a happy story. Let's go on to the final piece that I have for you. Do you know what? There's not many details on this. It's pretty self-explanatory. I'm sure any adult or teenager can figure out how this happened. Lio Rush and his partner are expecting their third child.
That's nice.
So that's positive.
That's positive.
Look, it's always good to hear of people having another family.
He's
not having another
criminally
family.
young, though.
Christ.
He is criminally young.
I think in his late 20s, mid 20s.
I believe so. He's had I think he's mid 20s.
No, that's the thing.
Yeah. Go on. Say again, Charlie.
Looks even younger than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he looks like he's only just turned 20.
How old is this? So.
But the thing is, he's been on the indie scene for a good 10 years.
Of course, yeah, but I'm just saying.
Very young though, same as Ricochet.
Yeah.
He looks good for his year. He looks good. That's all I can say. When he's 40, that will come in handy. So.
Oh yeah.
Over to you, Champagne Charlie. I understand you got a bit of news from the world of AEW.
Yes. So as everyone knows, in AEW, there's been a tournament going on to see who the next number one contender will be for the AEW World Championship. Now the tournament started last week. Originally, it was supposed to be Joey Janela taking on Kenny Omega, but due to him being in Janela being in contact with someone he was replaced by his tag team partner Sonny Kiss. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to say he defeated. Sonny Kiss got annihilated within less than 20 seconds by Kenny Omega. So Kenny Omega moves to the
Omega's entrance was longer than the entire match.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. We had an amazing bout between both Lucha Brothers, Phoenix taking on Penta. Now, even though Phoenix was the victor, sadly, it turns out he got injured during the match. So Penta will actually be facing Kenny Omega. We get Omega versus Penta for free. I'm looking forward to that one this week. Let's see. Next, on the other side of the bracket, however, we had Hangman Page taking on Colt Cabana from. I still don't know if he's officially with the Dark Order or not. It doesn't really matter. But Hangman Page picked up the victory there. And then we had Wardlow taking on Jungle Boy. Even though Jungle Boy tried his best, sadly, the size difference was too much, and Wardlow walked away as the victory. So we'll have Hangman Page taking on Wardlow for the semi-finals. So this week, those are the brackets for this week. Matches announced which are definite for Full Gear are John Moxley versus Eddie Kingston in the I Quit match for the AEW Championship. We'll have FTR defending their tag team titles against the Young Bucks. That's a match that everyone's been waiting for. We also will see the TNT Championship be defended. Who will it be, though? Will it be Cody or will it be Orange Cassidy who take on Darby Allin for the championship?
It will be Cody.
Cody. And finally, this is something that's going to be really, really exciting. The Elite Deletion match that will take place between Sammy Guevara and Matt Hardy. So we still got another couple of Dynamites to go before Full Gear, so that obviously there'll be some more matches announced at some point. Who knows what it will be? Personally, I think we'll also see Scorpio Sky going up against Sean Spears, because they've been teasing that both on Dynamite and on Dark these last few weeks. So only a matter of time to see what happens there.
Yes, they've probably got to add a women's match as well, I'm guessing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, easily.
Hikaru Shida or something like that. Maybe against Britt Baker, because she's been climbing the ranks a little bit more since she's been back. So that's all the AEW news so far.
So the last piece of news comes that I'm so happy to say this, to be fair. We at DKW, we are beginning a weekly episodic web series called Demolition. The first episode of which airs on the DKW YouTube channel this Thursday at 8 p.m. We couldn't be prouder of it. We're really excited to be able to share it with you guys and take you all the way through to New Year's Day. Yes, this year will end, and you'll be able to have some great Demolition content
Lucas,
to enjoy on YouTube.
Can I tell him?
Go for it,
Charlie.
Yeah.
You know what it is.
Yeah.
The commentators for DKW Demolition are myself, the general manager of DKW Demolition, Matt Ball, and, get this, for every single main event, Champagne Charlie down here.
Yeah, you're the voices of our vision, and it's going to be phenomenal when we get a chance to.
You get to hear us talk more often.
So, thanks for that, guy. Thanks for joining me to discuss some of the weekly news stories of this week's edition of the Gorilla Press.
Thank you.
We'd like to know your thoughts. If you have any comments or whatever, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget, this Thursday on the DKW YouTube channel, Demolition begins.
Yes.
Till then, I've been Lucas Jackson, joined by Jay Josh Porter and Champagne Charlie. This is the Gorilla Press on the Talking Crap podcast channel. Thanks very much. Good night.
Bye.